Class 82-3's triumph. Class 82-3 did not win a small victory, but a big one. The total score was a lot higher than the second place. Zhao Shanshan went up to receive the certificate. The class teacher walked up to Zhao Shanshan in person and gestured to her with his chin. The class teacher also took the lead in applauding her. Except for Sun Jianqiang and Wang Yuyang, Class 82-3 was filled with a festive atmosphere. Fortunately, no one thought of them. It was not enough for them to be happy. Why would they think of them? The class teacher didn't say anything, and his expression didn't reveal anything. However, his mood could be imagined by his classmates, as they were no longer children. Taking advantage of his good mood, Zhao Shanshan dragged Pang Fenghua to the class teacher's dormitory that night. Pang Fenghua refused. If Zhao Shanshan hadn't dragged her forcefully, Pang Fenghua would never have gone. Zhao Shanshan and Pang Fenghua stood side by side at the door of the homeroom teacher's dormitory, hand in hand. Pang Fenghua was wearing a new style of red hairpin on her head, which Zhao Shanshan gave her. The class teacher was very happy, as if he knew they would come, and specially prepared plums for Zhao Shanshan and Pang Fenghua. The class teacher said, "You have made great contributions." Zhao Shanshan smiled sheepishly, and she and Pang Fenghua sat side by side on the class teacher's bed, holding hands. The class teacher lit a cigarette. His smoking movements were unskilled and a bit unfamiliar, but he seemed to be puffing and bluffing, which was a bit exaggerated. However, it didn't stop him from talking and laughing. He talked a lot that night, almost alone, without the style of a vague poem, simple and homely, and every sentence could be understood. After talking like this for 5 or 6 minutes, Zhao Shanshan seemed to remember something important and suddenly stood up and wanted to leave. Pang Fenghua had no choice but to stand up and prepare to leave together. Zhao Shanshan said, "You sit. Why did I forget? They are still waiting for me." She sounded quite self-blaming. Pang Fenghua insisted on following, but Zhao Shanshan refused. In the end, Pang Fenghua gave in. If she persisted like this, it would appear to be intentional. Pang Fenghua stayed, and the dormitory suddenly became quiet. Pang Fenghua said to herself, "I couldn't tell, but Zhao Shanshan is actually quite enthusiastic." The class teacher thought for a while, then took Pang Fenghua's words and said, "Yes, classmate Zhao Shanshan's recent performance is indeed good." The two of them just sat there, neither speaking nor able to find the right words. Without any words, they had to find something to say. The atmosphere in the dormitory seemed to be a little tense now. Of course, it was not really tense. It might be more appropriate to say unusual. It had a little hint of ready to move, but is also limited by not daring to go beyond the limit. To put it all together, the heartwarming side prevails. The class teacher no longer looked into Pang Fenghua's eyes, but stared at the red hairpin on Pang Fenghua's head. After looking at it for a few seconds, he smiled to himself and said, "It seems you still like red." Pang Fenghua just lowered her head and rubbed her hands very carefully. The class teacher said, "Red is actually not good." Pang Fenghua did not take the class teacher's gaze, blinking and saying, "Why is it bad? You must be responsible for saying this." The class teacher's chest smiled and said, "Be responsible? What responsibility do I have to take?" Pang Fenghua said, "If the classmates say that I'm not good looking, I will come to you." The class teacher did not expect that Pang Fenghua would say such a thing, and he laughed out loud. "I mean, the color red doesn't suit you." "Why doesn't suit me? It really doesn't suit you." Pang Fenghua's tones suddenly became fierce. She stared at the class teacher, her chin tilted little by little, but her eyes didn't move, and she blurted out, "Fart." As soon as the words came out of her mouth, Pang Fenghua immediately covered her mouth, panicking. But unexpectedly, she found that the class teacher was not angry, but wanted Pang Fenghua to talk to him like this. Instead, he became even happier, with a sincere smile on his face. Pang Fenghua could see that the word fart made the class teacher unexpectedly happy. Happiness makes people coquettish. The class teacher looked cheap and whispered, "What did you just say? Say it again." Pang Fenghua knew what the class teacher was thinking, and suddenly became bolder. She stretched out her neck and whispered to the class teacher, "That's right. Fart. You fart." There was almost no sound, just the shape of the lips, which became a distinct whisper. The class teacher smiled charmingly and said very sweetly, "Be careful. I'll tear your mouth apart." Falling out of love was really a sickness. Yu Yang was seriously ill. She was crooked all day long and could hardly find any strength in her body. Class 82-3 won the championship of the December night chorus, and everyone was happy. This kind of joy, in turn, can only make Yu Yang see clearly her own insignificance and humbleness. It's a different kind of shame for Yu Yang. Yu Yang only cared about her lovelorn and humiliation, but delayed one of the most important tasks. She had not delivered a written report to Mr. Wei Xiangdong for 2 weeks in a row. Mr. Wei Xiangdong was very angry and dissatisfied. This can be clearly seen from Mr. Wei's face. Wei Xiangdong called Yu Yang into the general duty room and closed the curtains. Mr. Wei did not beat around the bush and made a correct diagnosis for Yu Yang right from the start. Yu Yang is sluggish and must be contaminated with something unhealthy in her mind. He hoped Yu Yang would talk. Yu Yang sat opposite Mr. Wei, feeling ashamed and frightened, knowing that Mr. Wei had seen through her. She lowered her head and said nothing. In fact, from the first day she met Chu Tian, Yu Yang had been very wary of herself. She had reminded herself and warned herself, but she just couldn't hold it in and restrain herself effectively. She almost fell in love with a hooligan. If Chu Tian hadn't exploded himself, if Chu Tian's gangsterism hadn't been exposed in time, the consequences would have been disastrous. Yu Yang was silent for quite a while in front of Mr. Wei Xiangdong, shedding tears of regret. Yu Yang bravely raised her tearful eyes and said, "I confess, I expose